All right, well, welcome everybody to our webinar on expanded text ads. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today we have a special guest speaker. Allison Kolber is the Director of Smart Advertising here at Pure Cars. A little bit about Pure Cars. If you don't know already, we were founded in 2007, and our mission has always been to provide more relevant information to improve the car buying experience. We're one of only 7 Google Premier SMB partners in the automotive industry, and recently we were acquired in the latter half of 2015 by Raycom Media with the goal of bridging the gap between broadcast and digital advertising. We've been on the Inc. 5000 fastest growing automotive company list, and actually just recently at Digital Dealers Tech Tank we were awarded the most innovative product for the inventory targeting piece of smart advertising. Now, Allison comes to Pure Cars with about 12 years of experience in digital media. She's worked across a myriad of verticals. She's led teams across technology, real estate, healthcare, and nonprofit. She's now our Director of Smart Advertising, and she's leading our campaign management team, and we are so fortunate to have her. So, Allison, I will let you take it away and let us know more about expanded text ads.
All right, great. Thanks, Joe. Hey, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great Thursday so far. We want to talk a little bit about mobile in 2016 and what is the state of affairs. Right now, you're really hearing kind of constantly about this mobile movement. 71% of interactions that users take are occurring on mobile. You know, these are searches, visits to site, video views, clicks on different products and ads. People are very, very engaged on their mobile devices, as I'm sure you guys can attest to for yourself. Specific to automotive, mobile accounts for 50% of auto queries. So think about all the different times that you're trying to, you're in a certain area and you want to find a dealer nearby, or you want to find an exact vehicle nearby because you want to go see that vehicle in person. Your mobile device is really the portal for that. And 75% of mobile conversions actually trigger follow-up action. So contacting the dealer or following up via email, phone call, text message, and even now we're seeing things like Facebook Messenger come into play. This is, really just a snapshot of what it looks like when you see we're all on the go. We're all using our phones all the time, probably a little bit too much sometimes, but this is the way that we live our lives now. And these are micro moments, those little individual moments where we want to capture our customers' and potential customers' attention. So we're going to take a second just to look at a quick video from Google talking about micro moments. So now we're going to dive into kind of the meat of this presentation and really what we're here to discuss, which is expanded text ads and how do those micro moments and those mobile moments really play into what Google has released as this new product and really the future of the search ad asset. So we're introducing expanded text ads. It's the next generation of search in a mobile-facing world. It will be the exclusive ad format beginning January 2017. Google just recently announced the extension for moving over to expanded text ads as everybody's working vigorously to get prepared for this transition. Originally it was going to be next month, and they have given us just a little bit longer through the end of January to make this transition. So what is the expanded text ad really hoping to do? We're hoping to improve the user experience across all devices and utilize the space that the right rail ads left behind. As you guys know, the right-hand rail disappeared a little bit earlier this year in the spring, and so they are using some of that additional real estate that we've lost in this expanded text ad format. So what does the ETA formatting look like? So the first is compared to our standard text ads. Historically, we've had one 25-character headline. We now will have two 30-character headlines. We had two 35-character description lines. We now will have one consolidated 80-character description line. And we had a manually entered URL. We now have an automatically extended URL. However, you can then customize the URL path, which are some parameters beyond the end of the URL. And I'm going to show you guys a few examples of that in some upcoming slides. So thinking a little bit about the formatting, that more prominent headline, it's really two headlines with a max 60-character count, so it's 30 and then a space and 30. Google's research shows that ads with these longer headlines are more useful and create a more lasting impression. I think what's really exciting about these longer headlines is historically there wasn't a ton of room in the ad space to include much more than the search terms themselves. However, now with this expanded headline, we're able to add to the headline some of the other really incentive driving and action driving information, such as your incentive, the number in stock, things like that. And we're going to show some examples of that as well. Looking at the longer description line, we now have consolidated description line to one that's 80 characters, so it is a little bit longer as well. So you're able to compose kind of that single longer sentence versus kind of having it be chopped up and sometimes reading a little bit awkwardly depending upon the device that you were on. And then lastly, that URL path that we're going to show some pictures of is really just allowing us to customize that to make it even more relevant to the user, inciting them to click at a higher rate. So here's just some basic examples. You can see the standard text ad on the left. We have the New York Budget Hotel. You have your pretty straightforward URL there, and then two description lines. On desktop, they read, book comfortable hotels in New York City, period, students save 20%, and you can see how it appeared on mobile with two independent description lines. If you look at the expanded text ad on the right, which is our new format, you've actually got that dash after the first part of the headline. You then are able to add that additional information into the headline, that best New York hotel rate in seconds. And then some additional parameters to your URL, so you can see New York City /budget. So we're able to use those URL path parameters to add that additional information, and then also framing up the really long description line that you're able to add some additional information to as well. You can see in the bottom part of the screenshot how this really allows for additional real estate, taking up more space on the screen so that your ads are even more dominant over your competitors. So what are some of the benefits of the expanded text ads? I think one is a little bit obvious, but is a pretty big deal, which is it's 47% more characters, so almost half another time as long. This really allows for more meaningful information to draw the customers in. Previously, we could only probably fit one benefit or maximum two benefits in the ad. We're now able to really continue to add additional components. How many do we have in stock? What are the offers we have on this vehicle? How many days are left in the month do they have to save? So we can include additional components to incite that action on our individual ads. Additionally, the unified platform, I mean, these were really designed with mobile in mind and really ties into that micro moments and that mobile experience. Your ads look seamless on every device. They're beautiful. They work on tablets. They work on mobile. They work on your desktop, and their performance won't suffer based on the device that you're on. And here's just another snapshot again of kind of taking up some of that real estate and how these expanded text ads with all those additional characters and the additional formatting will look. All right, so what to expect from the expanded text ads? So what about my standard text ads? I think that's a pretty big question that everyone's wondering. Well, after January 2017, all newly created ads will be required to be in ETA format. If the ads were created before January 2017, they can continue to run in the standard format, but they are being sunsetted. So as long as you don't touch them or change them at all, they can live there. But the minute that you change those ads or apply some other update to them, you will need to transition those to expanded text ads. How will this affect my performance? Beta testing has shown an increase in click-through rate of over 20% compared to the current text ads, and that's really if we use this additional real estate properly. The goal is not just to fill up the ad with additional words and characters. The goal is to add additional value statements, additional benefits for the consumer so that they really have a good reason to click. And then how to prepare. What do you need to do to be prepared for the change? Well, the great news is, as a Pure Cars dealer, we've taken care of this for you, and we've been actively working on this since the expanded text ads came out in alpha and beta earlier this year. So really nothing to worry about. But what we do want to do is show you a few examples of what that might look like. So the first thing is we've moved up relevant information from the body to the more prominently featured headline. This is really additional dynamic components. This really is prime for Pure Cars platform, where we've got so much information that's coming in from the inventory feeds, and we're able to use that to our advantage to make the ads more clickable. We can include additional support information in the body that path features as needed to make the URLs even more relevant. So here's a pretty simple before and after example. So you can see in this example, the search term was the 2016 Honda Accord EX. There you've got on the left side the before. The search terms are in the headline, and then occasionally Google would pull up your URL to the headline as well. You didn't really know when that was going to happen, and you didn't have a lot of control over it. And it was information that was already available to the user, so it really wasn't all that helpful. Our platform pulled in pricing, so we could say new Accord EXs starting at $29.99, and then of course visit Hometown Motors today or schedule a test drive, etc. In the new format, you can see here we're able to actually add 12 in stock ready to drive in your headline dynamically from our platform. Again, we have a lot of selection on the lot. Come on in. In the URL, we're able to add the /Honda/Accord to make that even more relevant. We still have the price down in the description, and then we can also even fit the geo in the individual description line. So visit Hometown Motors in Atlanta to create that geo relevancy as well. So some of that extra character count coming to play in the description as well. And you can see an example here of what the entire ad would look like when we have structured snippets, call-outs, all your excite links. It really is a huge ad format taking up so much of the screen. And when you think of someone searching on their phone and what that looks like, this could really occupy the entire above the full part of their screen when they're searching. So this is a great example of how your ad can really take over the ad space. So another example is 2017 Honda Accord. So here in our before example, new 2017 Honda Accords, you have your incentive down there in the body, 0% APR for 72 months. Visit Hometown Motors today. We are now able to push that incentive up to the headline. This is so great, as we know that the incentives help improve our click-through rate. 0% APR now featured in the headline. We have the URL path features as well. We're able to add the dynamic component of view the September specials in the description so that you're able to even have another dynamic component and kind of, again, putting that time sensitivity to it as well. And then also extending our call to action to that schedule a test drive with some of that extra character count that we have there as well. And then lastly, again, the full ad example with your structured snippets, your callouts, and your site links, just showing how much real estate that you'll have as part of the expanded text ads rollout. All right, I think that was pretty straightforward. We are going to pause now so that we can get some questions and see what we can answer for you guys.
Okay, so we'll take questions now. If you want to type them into the questions or chat box there in the GoToMeeting portal, that would be great. And we'll just give it a second, see if we get any questions here. Okay, here's one. How exactly do expanded text ads work on mobile?
Yep, so the expanded text ads, part of the setup of them is really to make them seamless across all of the devices. So from your headline to your description, all of that on mobile versus desktop will be perfectly formatted between all of those. So what we're putting into the platform and what we'll be running for you guys will be seamless across all of your devices, and will look just as we've shown on the previous screens on mobile versus desktop and tablet.
Awesome. Okay, another question that popped up. I think this is in reference to your mention that they will sunset the standard text ads. So do you know when and if those standard text ads will stop running, like for good?
I don't know that. I don't think that they're going to force them out of the system after January, but again, you aren't able to change that ad in any way. So if you need to change your URL or you need to change any part of your body copy for the offer or anything, then the ad will need to move over to expanded text ads. Certainly Google's hope is that advertisers will opt to take advantage of all those additional characters and will start running the expanded text ads with additional relevant information sooner rather than later, and that's our goal here as well. So, although I don't think they're necessarily going to completely take that capability away,
Great. Okay, one more question. So this is a question about putting, I guess, specific pieces of information into the ad copy. So the question is, are you able to put stock numbers or model numbers into your ad copy from a text perspective?
That really just depends on the individual, feeds that we're working with and what we're advertising. Typically, pulling in stock numbers and model numbers can be a little bit difficult, but it really just depends on exactly what we've entered in terms of like the incentive or the offer, etc. So we definitely want to work with you on a case-by-case basis to determine, when that's possible and when it will also make sense for the user.
Awesome. Okay. Any other questions out there on the phones? We'll give it just a couple of more seconds. Are there any forms of ETAs that are available for display or social campaigns?
So currently, expanded text ads are really meant primarily as a search platform. It's important to know that search, as part of search, there are Google partners, and your search can run off of Google as well, depending on if you opt into that or not. But right now, expanded text ads are, a search ad medium.
Okay, well, there are no more questions on the line today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the Expanded Text Ads webinar. This webinar will be recorded and available on the PureCars YouTube channel if you're interested in sharing it or checking it out. You can also, if you have any additional questions, you can email us at webinars@purecars.com. We'd be happy to answer those for you. Allison, thanks so much for your time today.
Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it.